All right, now here the planet Mercury is on the move, but please tell me it's not going backwards.
Actually, no. Mercury is going forward, and it's going from the sign of Libra into the sign of Scorpio. But what that means is it is catching up to where the sun is because of the retrograde. It was far away from the sun, and now it's getting close to the sun and will go ahead of it, which means time for communication to go forward for everybody. And wherever Mercury is where you focus your intellectual attention for about 3 weeks or so. So for Scorpios, it's all about the Scorpio, getting what the Scorpio wants. The Scorpio doesn't care about what other people's needs are, doesn't care what his partner has to say. It's all about getting the Scorpio what it is that it says that it wants, and it will say whatever it needs to say to get that. For Sagittarians, they have to be very careful, because even though Mercury is direct, it's in their 12th house, and they have to be really careful. For Sagittarians, the words just kind of fall out of their mouth. They just say stuff without really thinking about it, and their own words are going to come back to haunt them, so they need to be careful what they say, because they're going to have to eat some of them later on.
Ooh, and those don't taste good either.
No, they never do. They never taste as good going down as they did coming out. So for Capricorns, this is in their 11th house of hopes, wishes, goals, and objectives. And the Capricorn has to realize that it's up to them to rally a group of their peers or their colleagues, and to make the group kind of help the Capricorn get what it is the Capricorn says that they want. And so they're going to do it under the auspices of a group, but let's face it, it's really all about the Capricorn. For Aquarians, this energy is in their 10th house of career and public standing. And Aquarians they're fired up. Things are getting easier for Aquarians. And they have to realize that they cannot overstep their bounds, and they cannot get too big for their britches, and they cannot challenge the boss, because Aquarians are likely to do that. And if you do that, Aquarians, I got to tell you, you're not going to have a good result. So I would avoid that. For Pisces, completely different. This is where the law is on their side. Legal matters, educational matters, important matters at a distance go very, very favorably for the Pisces. And they have to realize that they're going to cut themselves the best deal possible in the next 3 weeks. And they need to go ahead and realize that that's as good as it's going to get, and say, thank you very much, and not fight anymore, because you're not going to get any more than what you're going to get over the next 3 weeks or so.
Gotcha.
For Aries, it's about other people's resources flowing their way. They want to find a way to work with younger people to maximize an existing resource rather than looking for a new resource to tap. So this has them partnering up with somebody probably younger, and then everybody makes money, which should make everybody happy about that. For Tauruses, it's in their 7th house of open enemies and partners. And Tauruses are going to be doing the lion's share of the work, and as a result, everybody's going to be yelling at Taurus. Everybody's going to want a piece of Taurus. Everybody's going to want that Taurus's undivided attention. And the challenge is to prioritize it. Otherwise, you'll be completely overwhelmed, Taurus, and not be able to get anything done, because you'll be going in so many different directions. Pick one, give it your undivided attention, and go forward with it.
I know all about that during Christmas wish.
I imagine that is a Christmas wish phenomenon right there. So for Geminis, it's in their 6th house of work and responsibilities. They are getting attaboys at work. They're not going to get any more money to go along with it. They're not going to, and they may end up getting some additional other duties to go along with it, but not a lot of money. And if my words to Gemini are, do it graciously now for 3 weeks or so, and at the end of that is when you're likely to be remunerated for your efforts. So it's like the gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Yeah, gotcha.
For Cancers, it's in their 5th house of creativity, and they get to be very, very creative. This is something new for them to fall in love with. Not necessarily a person, could be a place or a thing, but it's about finding the inner creativity, letting it out, and following it wherever it takes them, which can be any one of the love manifestations. So for Leo's 4th house of home, they are sticking rather close to home. They've been out and about and doing a whole bunch of other things the last month or so, and it's time to kind of settle that down and again focus on just one thing, which I suspect for you is Christmas wish. And it's going to keep you closer to home, to dealing with things in your immediate environment rather than big things externally. And then for Virgo, it's in their 3rd house of day-to-day living. So the pace of their life picks up. They're finding that they've got more places to be, people to see, things to do. It's a very hectic, busy time for them. And then for Libra, the last sign, it's about how do we make more money, and how do we use our words to make more money, rather than trying to find a new job. It's trying to make more money at the existing one. So, but it's all about money for Libras. So that's tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac, with Mercury, the planet of communication, going into Scorpio.
Sounds like a winner to me. We'll see you next week.
Always a pleasure.